This program was first broadcast on Canterbury's access media station, Plains FM, and was made with the assistance of New Zealand On Air.
It's time for Emergence News on Plains FM 96.9, citizen-made radio.
Kia ora and welcome to you. You are listening to Emergence News, and in this program we are delivering part one of a two-part series on the emergence of Maitreya, the media and the timing of the emergence. The arrival of the next teacher Maitreya and the spiritual hierarchy. That's what we're focused on this program today. And of course, the spiritual hierarchy is a group of highly evolved men called in the East the Masters of Wisdom. Today's program, we're going to look at the emergence of Maitreya, the timing of his emergence, with examples, evidence and forecasts of what we can expect over the next period of time. We also ask the question, are we somewhat ready for an avatar to declare his arrival to several billion people? Joining me on the program today are two regulars. First up, John, welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
And Peter, welcome.
Hi there, Nigel.
Now, Peter, according to author Alice Bailey, why do most humans on the planet Earth need to be somewhat ready before an avatar can openly declare themselves their arrival?
Yes, well, we're certainly overdue for needing him, his assistance in our conflicts and, difficult problems that we're facing all around the world.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether we're ready or not, I think we're just about ready. I think we are. It basically needs another cry, perhaps, from humanity, which is what actually made Maitreya decide in 1945 that he would come himself.
That's right, and that was a momentous decision, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. It was. He was expected, and the masters are expected to do the return trick, but they weren't quite expecting it so soon. But anyway, that's where we are now.
And John, one of Maitreya's core teachings is the need for us to share. Now, during the recent COP27 summit in Egypt and in Indonesia, I noticed that a handful of countries did offer funding to financially support loss and damage, suffered by the poorer nations, the developing countries. But most wealthy countries are still not willing to participate in this form of climate justice. Why? What do you think is the challenge about sharing that our political leaders are concerned about or hesitant?
I think they see it as a sign of weakness. And I think they are terrified of accepting culpability for the damage that the first world developed, commercially orientated, capitalist-driven Western democracies, and I say the term democracy lightly, the damage they've done, because it is the consumptive lifestyle of the Western first world nations that have produced by far the major causes which bring us to climate change.
Now, New Zealand was a key player in this loss and damage reparation. I think they're calling it a global shield fund. Does it surprise you that New Zealand, England, Scotland, Austria, and to a lesser extent Germany, Denmark and USA, they're the only countries that have made any commitment at all?
Look, Nigel, honestly, I'm cynical about this. I think it's very easy to get to a meeting, wear pretty shirts and say, yes, we'll do. But they've been doing that for a very long time around climate change. I guess I'm waiting to see. But getting back to Peter's point, Maitreya will come forward when we demonstrate a degree of sharing, and maybe this decision at COP27 is part of that. And also, I think we have to give up war. before we have to make a decision about war. And
it seems in the too hard basket at the moment, doesn't it?
At the moment, it seems very difficult to do. However, when we look at Ukraine, what has happened there, and you can dig into the causes of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, what has happened there is a whole lot of nations are sharing resource.
True.
Right? Okay, it's the weaponage of war, but they are banding together to help the little guy against the big guy. And I think on some level that's maybe a demonstration of sharing. But getting back to climate change, I'm tongue-in-cheek about those countries saying, yes, we're going to help, yes,
we had all those people getting together and we didn't have one updated policy on emissions.
And as Greta Thunberg has said 46,000 times, we've got to do it now. Not next year, not next decade, not in 2033 or 2041. We've got to do it now. There was none of that coming out. We've got to give up our current lifestyle in the Western world, and there's very little political appetite to do that.
Understandable, isn't it? Because they're concerned about the next election cycle.
Well, that's right. In the economic situation where people need heating for the fuel this winter,
yes,
they don't need it promised 10 years down the track sort of thing.
And let's be honest, the grey men that run this planet, and I'm picking that term out of something Benjamin Graham said about John Major when he was Prime Minister in Great Britain, the UK. Benjamin Graham said the grey men will make the decisions. The grey men that run this planet,
the oligarchy,
the forces of materialism are fighting a tremendously tough rearguard action.
It's true, very true.
They don't want the kind of progress we're talking about when we're talking about sharing.
No, they do not want the status quo damaged because it keeps them in a lifestyle that is unsustainable.
So the part of this plan, as far as the emergence of Maitreya is concerned, is humanity need to start getting on with each other a bit better.
Yes.
We need to develop trust, especially between nations, and perhaps what you've both mentioned here is there's some seeds of that developing now. This historic climate fund is the only tangible result, as I said before, from the COP27, and this is a fund for the poor, vulnerable nations for loss and damage caused by climate change. Now, according to the Pakistan Environment Minister, Sherry Raymond, she was delighted actually. She says this outcome is an important step towards rebuilding trust with vulnerable countries. Wealthy nations have finally agreed, well, some anyway, have finally agreed to create a fund to aid vulnerable nations.
And Maitreya, Nigel, says that sharing begets trust.
That's right.
That's sharing begets trust, trust begets justice, justice begets peace. Yeah. So, and excuse my cynical view, there may be something coming out of this.
Well, as we know in the Pacific, there's a lot of islands. They're our neighbours, they're our brothers and sisters, and they're losing everything every time we get a typhoon or a cyclone. Yeah. So it's not good. All right, so look, let's have a look at what you guys are going to focus on today. So, Peter, you're up shortly. What are you focusing on?
Well, I'm going to have a look at Benjamin Graham's book, Maitreya's Mission, Volume 2. Not only has he got a wonderful picture of Maitreya in Nairobi there, just inside the front cover, but he actually goes through the details of how we're doing, where we're going, and his role in this whole situation.
And John?
I got the brief signs of his emergence, and of course one of the signs is some of the things that have been done in the field of healing and health and wellness. I'm going to have a look at one of those topics.
Back shortly with the guys. You're listening to Emergence News, and this is part one of a program focused on the emergence of Maitreya. We're looking at the media and also the timing of the emergence. And let's go to Peter. Peter's going to be you're going to wind the clock back to the 1980s, are you, Peter?
Well, yes. In fact, we're going right back to Benjamin Graham's early story. And this is actually in volume 2 of Maitreya's mission. A new age is dawning. We are standing at the beginning of an extraordinary period in the history of the world, a crossroads at which humanity is undergoing a great shift in consciousness. This reflects itself in new relationships, political, economic, religious, social, scientific, and cultural, which in their manifestation will create a complex, different type of civilization, one in which the true spiritual nature of humanity, consciously recognized and demonstrated, will become manifest for the first time. These changes are the result of new energies and forces entering our world. We've spoken about this before, about the new age of Aquarius and the race 7 coming in. A new age is dawning. This is not a concept created by a new age groups, but is simply an astrological prognostication.
We're going from out of one cycle and into a new cycle.
Exactly right. We're going from race 6 to race 7, and they're almost diametrically opposed to each other.
Oh.
So
is that a big shift, Peter? Is that a difficult energetic shift?
Yes, it is, because you've got completely emotional building of the emotional body on the race 6, and
Yes.
the individuality of the human, and now we've got the individuality strongly anchored, I think, in humanity, and we've now moved to groupthink.
Yeah, structure.
Yes, and Aquarius is about group work and working together instead of number one.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
Cooperation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to be moving to cooperation, Nigel, here, definitely. So this is a result, obviously, of the progression of the equinoxes, or in layman's terms, the movement of our solar system around the heavens in relation to the 12 constellations of our zodiac. Our sun makes a journey in relation to these constellations which takes 26,000 years to complete. Approximately every 2,150 years, our sun comes into an alignment, a particular energetic relationship with each of the constellations in turn. When we are in that alignment, we say that we're in the age of the particular constellation. And our present civilization, now coming to an end, has been created by our response to the energies of Pisces. These energies have given us certain great qualities, above all that of individuality. Humanity has emerged from the herd over the last 2,000 years and increasingly becomes individual. Each of us is more able to demonstrate our individuality as unique, conscious souls in incarnation. How many of us actually realise that we are souls?
And if you look back at humanity 2,000 years ago, there's been tremendous progress made.
I think Benjamin Creme once said that if we could travel back in time, we would find the humanity of those times probably a little boring, because they were herd orientated, and it was only people with a slightly higher initiation level point of evolution that would have any sort of contact or point of similarity to us.
So Jesus of Nazareth and John the Baptist, they were individuals who were really going to stand out from the herd, weren't they?
They were
right.
towers of men in their time, I would think.
Yes, and wasn't there one of them said that the children of today probably have the consciousness of 15th, 16th century high thinkers of the day, the priests and the astrologers and those sort of
so
people.
that's why those high initiates, Da Vinci,
Made such an impact.
They were such a huge contrast to the ordinary people, weren't they?
But also constant victims of that herd mentality. So you had to be careful what you said and did. You didn't really want to show your...
Well, look what happened to Jesus.
You didn't really want to show your true colours.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a bit of a dangerous
The
occupation.
herd would run you over.
The energy of Pisces has given away to the qualities of idealism, devotion to an ideal. Unfortunately, this has been an abstract type of idealism, and we have but rarely sought to implement these ideals. We've also clung firmly through our devotion to our own ideals at the expense of all others. Whenever we idealise and believe in whatever it is our individual, communal or national ideology. We tend to think of the sum total of all truths, whether democracy, communism, fascism, Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, or other approaches. This exclusive devotion to one's own ideal has dangerously divided the world. The civilization of the last 2,000 years has been characterized by great political, economic, and religious divisions. This is representative of how we have handled and expressed the energies of Pisces. Our sun has now moved away from the sphere of influence of the energy of Pisces and is coming into the same alignment with the constellation Aquarius. Now, incoming energies of Aquarius have the quality of synthesis. As they increase in potency over the next 2,350 years, they will create a fusing and blending of humanity in ways which be unthinkable today. Which we are now starting on that journey of synthesis, the brotherhood of man. This is the Emergence News on Plains FM. For more information, go to shareinternational.org.
This is Emergence News, part one of a two-part series. We're focusing on the emergence of Maitreya. And thank you, Peter. It's good to get that astrological perspective on what's actually happening to us here on planet Earth. From the latest Share International magazine, I'm just going to take an excerpt out of the magazine, and there's an article there by one of the masters through Benjamin Creme titled Preparing for the Future. It reads by the master through Benjamin Creme, as I said, published in 2007 originally. Towards the end of an age and the beginning of a new cosmic cycle, everything begins to fall apart. The old and tried ways of living no longer work and meet the needs of an advancing humanity. Certainty gives way to uncertainty. The known has lost its power to convince, and people feel bewildered, lost, and filled with fear. Thus it is today as we stand baffled in this transitional phase between the old age of Pisces and the new Aquarian dispensation. The Aquarian age will last for about 2,350 years. And will bring about much benefit to humanity as its energies mount in potency over the coming centuries. However, at present, the old ways of Pisces, outworn but not yet outgrown, still hold sway and determine the thoughts and actions of the majority. That this troubled time will not last too much longer, you may be assured. Already the signs of change are evident to us, your elder brothers. We see clearly the outlines of conditions altogether different from those that now prevail. We know also that humanity in their hearts are ready and longing for change and will rise to the challenge with eagerness and will. They await for only inspiration and guidance. Thank goodness, John, there is some good news.
And you know,
it's
something listening to that, and we've talked about the collapse of our civilization, but also this is part of the evolving of this planet and all that pertains to it. We're just in a process. That's all it is. Yeah. We're trying to nail it down to I can't get hamburgers anymore, or I can't drive my car anymore, but actually it's a big process that we're going through. It's going to happen with or without us.
Yes, in fact, it's an initiation of our solar logos as well.
Oh, so actually we can take it just out of planet Earth and put it right through the solar system.
It's to do with the initiation, obviously, of our own planetary logos, but also connected with the solar logos as well.
I love this.
There's some good big picture stuff for you, John.
I'm meant to jump in there, but I'm not going to. I'm going to wait my turn, just for a change.
Well, it is your turn, John. Right. So, okay, we're looking at the emergence of Maitreya, the timing of his emergence, signs of emergence, evidence, forecasts. What have you got for us?
Okay, well, so I got the brief from Nigel, and I thought, well, I've been involved with the story for a number of years. And so when it came to this program, I wondered, what are the signs of his emergence that sit with me? I glanced up at my bedside cabinet and there was one of the answers, Tecloti water, a small bottle of homeopathically potentized spring water from a place called Tecolote in Mexico. So let me just kind of tick this off a little bit. Healing waters are now available in rapidly increasing numbers on old planet Earth. They are an existing water source that's been magnetised by Maitreya with the energy of Aquarius. Often, but not always, they are magnetised in an area after Maitreya has made an appearance or given a talk. They are really interesting. They work on a cellular, emotional, mental and spiritual level. The healing waters strengthen the physical body. They act as a tonic, purifying the physical body. Eventually, there will be 777 of them. They will assist humanity with the healing arts transition from current medical practices to the healing energy of light, which is called the technology of light. As of April 1994, there were 286 magnetised springs or water sources not yet found. Now here's the trick, they are found under law. Benjamin Creme, who's talked at length on this topic, and I just did this search on the Share International website, he was asked, can we quickly find these healing wells? Can we speed up this process more quickly? And Benjamin Creme came back with, no, the water's discovered in a definite lawful rotation. Maitreya brings about the finding. They appear to be found by chance, but someone is always impressed to find the water. It is useless, therefore, for groups of people to organise searches for these healing waters. It all takes place under law.
And Maitreya is known as the water carrier.
That's right. He's the water carrier, which is the avatar of the age of Aquarius.
And it is the symbol of Aquarius, in
exactly.
fact, the water carrier.
Right. So, are the waters, Benjamin Creme's asked again, are the waters which Maitreya is charging in different places around the planet anything to do with the waters of Aquarius? Have you guys been reading my notes? You need to stop that. Benjamin Creme came back with, I'd have to say, quite a long explanation, so our producer will have to keep an eye on the time because, as we all know, once I get stuck into something, it could get really messy.
Look, folks, there's nothing like getting John fired up when he's on air.
I hope you bought some food, boys. We could be here a while. Okay.
Yeah, we've got to cut lunch.
Anyway, Benjamin Creme came back with, Maitreya goes all over the world creating healing waters. The most important thing is that a network is being created throughout the world, energetically linked together, a network of the waters of life. In the Bible, Jesus said, I am come that men might have life, and that life more abundantly. Maitreya has repeated that statement, and the life more abundantly is precisely the waters of life of Aquarius. These flow on the physical plane through these wells and water sources, on the emotional astral planes, the mental planes, and the spiritual planes. Maitreya said in one of his many messages, on all the planes this life will flow, reaching the hearts and souls and bodies of men, bringing them nearer to the source of life itself. That was message number 42. So Benjamin Creme goes on to say, thus creating new life and new experiences for humanity, inevitably bringing about tremendous changes in consciousness, and also curing the physical ills, strengthening the physical body of humanity. Our bodies are weakened at the present time by pollution, a number one disease-producing factor. Pollution of the air, the waters and the soil is slowly poisoning humanity. There will be a change only when we end the misuse of the resources of this planet, implement the principle of sharing, which we discussed earlier, and so create new balance and equilibrium in the world. The energising of the 777 water sources is just part of a larger undertaking that Maitreya plans, a scientific advance which he calls the technology of light. The same technology can revolutionise our present transportation and communication systems. It can cure our environmental ills and transform medical science. Healing waters, Tecolote water, They appear in a number of other places which we will discuss later. All this information can be found on the Share International website, www.share-international.org, and also don't forget the podcasts which are available on the Plains FM website.
We welcome your comments, questions and feedback. Please contact us at emergencenews@gmail.com.